Well, today is one of those days where I know how it starts, but I have no idea how it's going to end. It's a Saturday morning. I've got a lot of projects that are midway through, a lot of videos that aren't quite completed yet, but today it's a nice day and I got a list of things I could accomplish. So I thought I'd just bring you along with me for the ride. I'll eventually talk about some of the things that are going on behind the scenes in upcoming videos, and we'll just see what we can accomplish, I guess. First things first, I need to do a workout. It's about 10 o'clock. I've already had breakfast, but I need to do my workout.
Dig Drive DIY.
Well, today is February 1st. It's a Saturday, and I need to get some firewood moved, obviously. So this is always my workout routine when the time comes every few weeks. Just got a bunch of rain the last couple days, and fortunately it was cold enough this morning to freeze the ground, or else this would be an absolute muddy mess. So I wanted to take an opportunity to get some of this wood moved. I had hauled in a triaxle load of these blocks from a local sawmill, and I think this will be the third time I've filled the trailer from the blocks. And I'm thinking that I can get the rest of this cleaned up and put in the trailer today. Hopefully I can get this moved. We got at least 2 more months of pretty hard winter, and I'm gonna need all of these blocks, and then I'm probably gonna have to cut up some of this firewood behind me too in order to keep going. Well, fortunately I drafted a couple of helpers out here, but you know what? This is getting a little frustrating because all these blocks are frozen to the ground. It got rained on and everything's frozen together. So I'm getting a little impatient. I'm gonna go grab another helper. See, this is why I never lose any weight from my workouts. I always end up working smarter, not harder. One triaxle load of cheese cubes from the sawmill equals 3 of these trailer fulls. It's not bad. It makes for good, mid-temperature firewood. I'm gonna fill a couple totes with just some loose wood so that I have a couple extras. Then I'll bring the empty firewood rack over here, and then we'll move on from firewood for the day. That should last us a couple weeks, I hope. It's almost noon. Only took an hour and a half to get these loaded. I'm gonna get everything carried across the road, put in front of the wood stove, and then what's on your plans, Eva? Lunch? All right, I'll look forward to lunch. Let's do that. Thank you. But it's a nice feeling when an hour and a half of effort gets you 4, 5, 6 weeks of wood, 6 weeks of heat rather. Okay, let's see if we can get this across the road before it all turns to goo. So for the past 2 weeks, it's been below freezing, and the ground will get frozen at a depth of, meaning it was frozen solid. And that's great for driving around wherever you want to go. You can drive around anywhere with any piece of equipment and you won't hurt a thing because of that frost depth. And then you get 2 or 3 days where it's above freezing, let's say in the 40s or 50s, and it melts just the top bit. It starts to melt 3, 4 inches down from the top. This frost down here will take a while to come out, but this gets smeary, and then you can't do anything. You can drive around because the frost is holding you up, but it's smeary on top. And then you get days like this where it's borderline freezing. The top just freezes a little bit. You got frost on top, then a layer of mud, and then deep frost underneath that. Right now we're just working on that skim layer of frost, and as the sun shines down, even if it's below freezing, the sun will melt the top and make it smeary. And if it's in the shade like this right here, this is still frozen solid on top, and you could work here all day. So you have to think about where you're working and what the temperature is and what you can get done. That's why we did this today. All right, well, that was a good use of a morning. It is exactly lunchtime. So I'm gonna go in and grab a bite to eat and then think about what we can do yet this afternoon. Hopefully this is about a month worth of wood.
Anybody want crackers? I don't think no.
Lunch. All right, well, lunch really hit the spot. Good timing. But the next thing I want to do, I've had it on the list for a long time. A couple months ago, you might have watched me put new LED lights on the front of my barn, night lights. And I bought a third one because I've always wanted a night light right here on this area between like where the wood boiler is and where the garage is. This is a dark spot. So this is at night, walking out to the shop or coming back in. I've got pretty good light right here, cast from the barn there, but I'd really like to lighten up this area at night. Just to pull in and out of the barn, you can see the pond. Right now you can't see anything, so just put a light right up there on the end of that building, the blockhouse. If I put a light there, then I could cast some light right here in this entire area. Now, I don't know where I'm going to pull power from. I don't know, the weather's decent enough to get up there right now into the attic, but I'm just going to have to get up there and see what I see and see if it's feasible. So first things first, let's head up in the attic. So the access to the attic is through this little hole in the ceiling right here. I'm always worried about what's going to be waiting for me when I go up there, but there's a little bit of stuff up in here. Everything that's up in here was from previous owners. We have never stored anything up here on purpose. All right, this is the end we're going to be working on. And I want to put that light, I think, right above this window. The hardest part's just going to be getting a wire down here. So right here is a newer wire that's going down into the wall. It's in conduit. So if that's an outlet downstairs in that back room, that's not something that we use a lot. So I might be able to just make up a junction box right here in the attic and pull a new wire from right here over to our new light. And that would be the shortest amount of wire, and it would be basically an unused circuit probably. Let's go take a look downstairs and make sure. All right, well, that wire that we found is running along there into this back room, so we'll go take a look. So that wire is coming down in that conduit right there. And I'm pretty sure that's just going to an outlet, and we don't use it for anything. I think this building was meant to have like a sump pump in the corner, and it's never been connected. So I want to make sure we get the breaker shut off to that, so I'm going to hook something up so we can test it. I don't have a tester, I should. It's got a sump pump plug labeled on here, so I bet it's this one. Okay, let's go. Let me get something to plug in there. So this is something that I never use anymore, a corded 3/8 drill. I don't have a wiggy, as my dad calls it, which is test a circuit, so plug this in. Okay, we got power. I'm gonna go shut that breaker off. That's it. Okay, we got power shut off to that wire. Let's go ahead and scab onto it. Hopefully there's enough slack in it that I can just cut it and put a joint in it. All right, I'm gonna cut that off like that so I have enough wire to work with. And then if I need that outlet for anything, like if we decide we're going to need that outlet, I can pull a new wire and put it in this junction box and get it working again. But for now, I don't need that outlet. I want this wire up here, so. All right, well that should be the hard part actually. Got the wire spliced in. We're gonna leave that outlet downstairs dead for now. So now I'm gonna jump outside and get my light mounted. Then I should be able to feed my wire out through a hole and get her wired up, and that'll be it. All right, let's have a look at this light. It's meant to mount on a pole. Pretty simple. I just like how they were totally sealed up. Or if I could just mount this like that. I'll just put it there on the trim. It's not heavy. Plus it'll be really protected underneath that eave. Just be interesting to see how much light it shines down here. Let's go mark this out and drill a hole. Well, it didn't trip right away, so that's a good sign. Now all we got to do is cover up the photo eye and test it out. All right, well, that ought to be interesting to see how that lights it up tonight when it gets dark. So stay tuned until the end to see the results. I'm anxious to see what that looks like tonight, but since I am on kind of an electrical path here, it reminded me of something else I need to get fixed inside the shop here. It's been one of them things that's just lingered on for months. I bought the lights I need months ago, so. Back here in my welding area. So only 2 out of the 4 fluorescent lights are working in here, and I've tried everything to get them to work. I don't know what it is, but fluorescents are the old news, LEDs are new. So I bought 4 cheap little 7,000 lumen LED replacement lights. So I'm going to see if I can yank down those fluorescents and put these up, see what it looks like. So I mentioned it in the intro that I was going to talk about a few behind the scene things. So mainly that's that I have 2 or 3 videos that are partially done. They're started but not complete. So those are going to be coming hopefully very soon. The dump truck, of course, it's 98% finished. I've just got a few more things I need to button up. Plus I'm waiting on a delivery of one of the things I need to finish. So that's why I've been putting that off so long. The graphics are on it and I think it looks awesome. I can't wait to show everyone what it looks like. we had some frozen water lines. It was really cold 2 weeks ago, as it was in most of the country. Florida, has more snow than we've had in Indiana so far this year. During that cold snap, we had some water lines freeze in the blockhouse and break. And I've never had that happen before, but I'm redoing all the water lines and the sink that's in there. So that's another video that I was working on. I'm waiting on the sink. And then one thing I haven't done in a long time is a follow-up video. My brother Nate built a pole barn several years ago now, and I documented all of it on the channel. And he's actually almost done. So we're going to do a little revisit of Nate's pole barn, go back and check in and see what it looks like, and give you an update on everything he has accomplished in there. It's looking great. So that's another video that's coming. So I've got, like I said, 2 or 3 videos that are almost complete. Well, it seems a lot brighter because I've got 2 more lights working than what I did previously. So that's got to be a big improvement. But this seems like a brighter area than out there in the rest of the shop, which it's not bad. You know, one thing I've noticed as I get older, I want more light. And what once was too bright is like perfect now. I hope that doesn't keep getting worse because the girls will probably have to be wearing sunglasses in here. But this is a big improvement. So just another small thing checked off the list that it's one of those deals that gets pushed to the back burner. You got to make yourself do it. Like today, I just decided to make myself do some of this stuff. So it's about a little after 4 p.m. Not bad so far. I don't know what we're doing tonight, what the girls have in mind, but until they come calling, I'm going to tackle one more thing here in the shop. Something else that's I've had for a long time. I showed it in a recent video, I think right at the beginning of the year, that this area where I have my batteries and my chargers, I need to have better organized. I want a better system. So there's a really interesting story that goes with this idea. Right around New Year's time, I got a call from a friend of mine over in Harlan. And long story short, he had come into some 3D printers and he had one for sale. He thought I seemed like the type of person that would be interested in one. And I always have been interested in 3D printers. I know nothing about them, but I want to learn and I want to be able to teach the girls how to use one. So I talked to Kevin, said, yeah, I'll take one. I think I went over there on a Friday to go get it. And on my way into Harlan, I thought, well, I'll just stop at the post office and see if there's anything there at the post office. So I go inside the post office and there's a couple packages there for me. And I carry them out to the truck, put them on the passenger seat of the truck, and then I proceed on to Kevin's, picked up the 3D printer, brought it home, put it in the garage. I haven't even looked at it yet. And I brought these boxes out to the shop. So I now own a 3D printer and I have 2 boxes. So I proceed to open up the boxes here. And what is inside? 3D printed Milwaukee tool and battery holders. All right, so these red ones hold the M18 batteries and you mount them to the wall with a couple screws. I know exactly where I'm going to use these. And these are from John. He wrote a real nice letter telling me about these and how much he enjoyed the video from December 22. And these are from Timothy actually. And these are great. These are white and Timothy made these so that they would mount to the pegboard back there. So what are the chances that on the day that I go to get and buy a 3D printer that I stop at the post office and pick up 2 packages of 3D printed goods that were meant to help organize my Milwaukee tool stuff? Because I think that's what kind of spawned the idea of the 3D printer. A lot of viewers suggested that I could 3D print some organizational items for my Milwaukee stuff if I just had a printer. So that helped to spur that. And this stuff is awesome, by the way. So let's take a closer look here. So I'm going to put these in the blockhouse because we've got some yard tools like the leaf blower and the weed eater that are using the M18 batteries, and I'm going to mount those to the wall in the blockhouse, and that'll help to organize batteries in there. These white ones are designed to go on the pegboard, and you've got an M18 battery holder, you've got an M12 battery holder, and this is a tool holder. So thank you so much, John and Timothy. This kind of stuff gives me the fizz, and I can't wait to try it out. And I can't wait to try to make some of my own. I don't know how soon I'll get the 3D printer up and running. There's a lot to learn, and I know that maybe I can just download the files that were used to create these, and I can print my own if I need more. So that's for a future video. But for right now, I just want to try these out on the wall and get some organization going, and I'll stand back and look at it a little bit. All right, I'm gonna love playing with this and rearranging things and getting it the way I want it. But the workday is through. I feel pretty good about the amount of stuff I got done, but the girls are calling. It's a little after 5 o'clock. They're getting hungry, so I think we're gonna go grab some supper. Got to stop off the library, and then don't forget we got to check to see what that light looks like after dark. So, what did you get?
This is the second book in the duology that I read, and this one's the second book in my trilogy that I just finished. So I'm probably
Nice.
gonna read this one first, because then I'll be done with the series.
Nice. Okay, we didn't have a super amount of time for the library. Are you ready to get something to eat?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go get some. It's the busiest I've ever seen it. Well, that hit the spot.
Yes, that was wonderful.
We just love local little places like that. Sandwich and chips for supper. That's all we need. Good spot. That's a good spot. All right. I think we got to find ice cream yet too. Drive through.
Sure.
1 scoop of Mackinac Island fudge in a dish.
Do you want the butter pecan and cotton candy in a cup or a cup?
In a cup. Old school menu board there, you know. It's been the same since 1981.
Is that butter pecan
All right.
and then that cotton candy? You guys
Thank
have a great
you.
rest of your day.
All right, you too. All right, our bellies are full, about to be fuller. Time to head back home. I can't wait to see what that light looks like beside the garage.
Light up. See what it looks like. You put a light at the end of the block.
Whoa,
Holy cow. Am I doing your sunglasses?
that is
on the
bright.
end?
Been to the blockhouse? Yeah.
Maybe that's too bright.
Maybe too bright.
Whoa, that's bright. Oh my gosh.
Be blinded.
It lights the pond
It
up.
does. It lights it up really nice.
All right, I'm gonna have to get out and look at it. So I got the breaker turned off, just so we can do it before. So there's not a lot of light right here. This is basically what it looks like pulling into the garage. All dark, you got a little, you can see my shadow there a little bit. Can't see anything on the pond. There's the after. Wow, that lights it up pretty good. So my goal is to have it lit up so much around here that I could shoot in the nighttime or the daytime. It doesn't matter, but I got more and more places I can film now. But I'm gonna call that a day. It was a pretty good day. Got a lot done, feel good about it. All I have left to do is put this all together so that you guys can check it out tomorrow. I hope that you liked it. There's a lot more coming up in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. And if I'm lucky, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll get used to it. Remember I said I like things bright.